Okay, we're just going to check the sound, make sure everything's working okay. If anyone's here, welcome to the webinar.
Present to everyone on the top? Because you stopped the webinar.
No, I didn't stop the webinar, I stopped broadcasting.
Oh, okay.
So this is still going.
Oh, I wasn't playing it, that's why.
Yeah.
But if it could test it, and if you want your video, do you want to test a video too?
Yes. Okay, if anyone's here, we would just like to welcome you, and we're testing our sound. So hello and good morning. Test this sound. In this video, we're going to be looking at uploading video and pictures to Google Classroom using our iPad or our smartphones. So first thing, you must have the Google Classroom app downloaded from the App Store or from the Google Play Store. And then next, you just take your video or your pictures. And so we're just going to go to our photos. Okay, so we're going to test the sound one more time. And we're going to move over to a video and test the sound in the video. In this video, we're going to be looking at uploading video and pictures to Google Classroom using our iPad or our smartphones. Good morning. We would like to welcome you this morning to the Google Classroom Intermediate webinar. My name is Rosie Castle.
And my name is Larissa Uceda.
And thanks for coming this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started with the webinar. We see we have a few people here with us already. We just want to make sure that you have opened up both windows, the one to play the webinar and the discussion board. And on the discussion board, you will see that we are asking you to sign in. So if you can just please click on New Thread and just say hello and what school you're at. So again, this is Rosie Castle and Larissa Uceda here with the Google Classroom webinar. And we just like to say good morning. And if you could just sign in at the discussion board with your name, just say hello and what school you're at. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, good morning and thanks for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started. And just some information here in the discussion board. If you do have any questions as we're going through the webinar, please write them in the discussion board. And Larissa will be manning the discussion board. And that way, hopefully, she can quickly get to you. And to refresh the discussion board window, you click on the window and then you press F5.
So I will try to answer the questions. And if I don't, I will just pass them over to Rosie, and then we'll answer them through the webinar.
Okay. Okay, so yesterday there was some really exciting news that came out for Google Classroom. What is really new in Google Classroom? Here's some two exciting things that came out. First of all, you can add multiple teachers to the classroom. And so you will see, you click on the About section, and it takes you in there and you can invite another teacher to work with you. And whenever that teacher goes in, that teacher can accept the invitation and they will be added to the class. Another nice feature that's been added to Google Classroom is you can add announcements and assignments and not actually post them to your stream yet. This is a very nice feature that's been added because they go to a draft section. So that way you can prep ahead of time for your classes. These are very nice features that's been added. People have been asking for these for quite a while. Okay, great. So some other reminders, some other things that you can do in Google Classroom. You can create your own class theme. That means if you want to upload your own photo, you can do this. You can sort, in the Students tab, you can sort your students by their first name or their last name. We've had several teachers asking, I want to be able to sort my students different ways. That's a feature. Okay, so now we're going to jump over into Google Classroom and talk about some other things that we know teachers have been asking us about. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Google Classroom. In this About tab, this is a wonderful place to add resources. And some different resources that you could add in this section is if you have links that you always want to make available to your students, you could add them by clicking on Add Materials. Put your favorite link in here, click Add, and click Post. If you have resources in a Google Drive, you could add the link to the Google Drive, and then your students could come to your About section, open this up, and maybe you've put all the resources that you want made available to them right here in your About section. Okay, that would be maybe for your students. If you're working with colleagues, maybe you want a resources folder for just your colleagues. So maybe you want resources just for reading. So this is another example. Or maybe you just want documents. So maybe like a syllabus, maybe classroom supplies. So this would be just documents that you could attach. So again, this is just in the About section. You would add materials the same way you would like add them to announcements or assignments and click Post. Okay. Now here in Google Classroom, we have another nice feature that we know some people have been asking about is you see up here, I have a picture, Larissa has a picture, and some people have been asking about how can I get my picture added here in my Google Classroom. So to do that, we would go to our hot dogs, which is our main menu. We scroll down to the bottom, we go to Settings, we click on Change Profile Setting or Change Profile Picture. You can use your web camera, you could choose your photos, you could select a photo from your computer. Okay, you could get your photo. So here, if I just wanted to use my web camera, you would have to click Allow. Okay. You would take a snapshot. I would select it. And that would be changing this for my Google Classroom account and for all of my Google accounts for our CSD one-to-one. You can see right over here that it did change my picture. Another thing that's available here in your settings is whether you want to have your email notifications. That way, if anyone is posting comments into your Google Classroom account, if you get email notifications. Now, I do want you to be made aware that this profile picture and these email notifications, this can be done for teachers and students. Okay? Now, to get back to your Google Classroom, you click on your hot dogs, you scroll back up to the top, and you can click Home. Okay. How's it going over there, Larissa?
Good. We have a smaller group as we thought, but there's 3 of us, 3 viewers, so welcome all, and they're all here. That's what we expected.
Okay, great. Okay, so for the next item that we're going to be looking at is a collaborative group assignment. And to get you thinking about it before we jump right into it, we wanted you to be thinking about what types of assignments could you use a collaborative activity for? What kind of assignments could you use this with? And do you think this would work in your classroom?
So after your presentation, we'll come back to this and have them post in the chat.
Yes, yes. So just be thinking about it as we're going through this. Okay, So I'm going to be in my Google Classroom. Okay. And so I'm going to create assignment. And I already have one here started in my draft, which is one of those nice features that they just added. It's in a collaborative writing assignment. I'm going to ask my students to work with a partner and write the essay. I'm going to make sure that they put both names in the file name. I'm going to put the due date. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to attach anything else to this assignment because my students are going to be creating the document. And my students are going to be working in a group with a partner. And there's going to be a group leader. And that group leader is going to be the one that creates the document. And so I'm going to click Assign. And so now I'm going to go over to the student view. So here in the student view, I'm going to go to Google Classroom. Here's my assignment. So I'm going to open the assignment. Here's the instructions. I need to create a document. I need to open the document. And me as the group leader, the teacher said I need to rename it and add my partner's name. So my partner's name is Joe Smith. And then I can click OK by renaming it. Now, to make this collaborative, I need to click on Share. And I'm going to share this with Joe Smith. And another partner I have is also Larissa Student. Looks like Joe Smith has been taken out of my group, so I can't share it with him. I do not need to notify Larissa, so I'm going to uncheck the email, and I'm going to click OK. I need to change my file name. My teacher notified me that Joe cannot work with me. So I see that my file name is good. I've got the group's partners in here, and I've shared it with my partner. Okay, no questions over there. It must be going okay.
Yep.
Okay, so this has become a partner and collaborative project because it's been shared with the students. And so now for the second partner to be able to work on this, that student is going to be able to access their work by going to the Google Drive, and all they need to do is, one way they can look for this is by typing in number 5 or collaborative writing, and they'll be able to quickly find this work in their Google Drive and work on it. Okay, and now the turning in piece is so important. We know in Google Classroom, the student who starts the work is the student who will be able to turn this in. So Rosie, the first group leader, is the one who can turn this in. The second student on this project cannot turn it in, but that's okay because we're trying to make collaborative projects or collaborative writing work inside of Google Classroom. That's that tricky piece, but I know you guys can do this. Okay, so here the students have finished their work. Okay, so that first group leader is going to click Turn In. Okay. We enjoyed this project. Turn in. It's been done, it's submitted. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the teacher side and see how it looks for the teacher, since we have both students turning in work. So here I am on the teacher side. Okay, so I'm skipping down. This is my collaborative work. I have two students who turned in the work. So that would have been the Rosie student and the Larissa student. I'm going to look at their work. Both students have turned in their work. I see that the Larissa student said Rosie student turned in. Okay, so just to quickly look at that, we had the Larissa student, whenever she turned in, she couldn't turn in any work, but what that student did is clicked done on that assignment. That's an important step for that student. Just because they can't turn any work in, they can mark done on the assignment. Okay, and just because they didn't submit any work, you can still give them a grade because their work was done collaboratively here. So to see the group work, the collaborative work, you come down to the group leader, you open up the work, and here was the work that they did collaboratively. Okay, both their names is here. Both of their names are in the file name. Now what we see here, we see a lot of great work. But what's also here, another feature that you will be working on in the online portion of the class is, as the teacher, I've already gone in here, looked at this earlier, I highlighted a portion, I gave my students some comments that, hey, this was a very nice specific details, and that was done by going up to comments or using the comment feature on your toolbar, okay? And so me as a teacher, right now, I just want to give them some feedback other than the comments, okay? So I want to close this tab, and I can quickly give them a grade. This was a very nice project, so I'm going to give them 100 out of 100, okay? And I am going to also give the Larissa student 100 out of 100. You see that both of the boxes in front of there are checked. I'm going to click return. And I'm going to give this feedback to both of the students because both of them worked together. Okay, great job on the work. Nice to see you could work together. This feedback will be going back to both of the students. This is one way you can give feedback to the students. Okay, so this was grading. This was giving feedback to your students. We briefly touched on commenting, how you could comment, and this was collaborative assignments in Google Classroom. Okay, so do you think this would be something that you could use in your classroom? Or how do you think you could use this collaborative feature in your classroom? If you could just take a minute in the discussion board and post, we'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear your ideas. You know, I was really excited to come across this idea because I know several teachers have been asking for different ways inside of Google Classroom for students to work collaboratively. And so whenever I got the opportunity to share this, I know there was lots of different steps here, but it's just another way of thinking outside the box to try to get students to be able to peer evaluate, to be able to work within Google Classroom and still collaboratively work. So just keep thinking about different ways that maybe you could incorporate this into your use of Google Classroom, okay? So we're just going to move ahead. Okay. Do we have something pop up, Larissa?
Yeah. So John said some of his students want to do end of the year projects after testing. So actually, after testing, I think is the perfect time where students have their rituals and routines with the Chromebooks and Google Classroom. And then Kathleen mentioned about breaking up the research for different topics and then add them together. So thank you.
Yeah, those are great ideas. And maybe this would be a great motivator because we can still keep them within the confines of Google Classroom, but you know, working together it seems to always be a huge motivator.
Lisa also mentioned that nice to use collaborative. She might have the students work in different colors. You could do that, or you can always go to see on the side in any document to see who had done what work too.
Oh yeah, in the revision history.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Different colors. Students seem to always like writing in different colors.
That's true. That's actually a good suggestion.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you know they're going to love that.
Yes, great idea.
Hot pink.
Okay, so in this next portion, we thought it might be nice just to give you some examples of some work that we're going to be asking you to do in the online portion of the PD. Some parts of it is just working with documents, because we know in the intro course there were different courses and we saw different people trying to work with Microsoft Office documents. And for Google Classroom, it's really important that you try to work with Google documents. And then we're going to be trying to work with some PDF documents. And then another thing that we're going to be working with on the online portion is making sure that we attach documents from the Google Drive in an assignment and the different ways that we send them to our students. And this last one here on the screen with making a copy for each student, we really stress this because once you make that assignment, this feature changes when if you want to go back and edit something in an assignment. So we're just going to look at a couple of examples. So here in my Google Classroom, I'm going to scroll down to assignment number 4. And you see that this is a simple assignment, but this assignment, I have a Word document. This was a Word document from the ELA module. I changed it to a Google Doc and then attached it to the assignment. Okay? And we made sure that each student here will be getting their own copy before we made the assignment. Because after we clicked assign, we wouldn't be able to change that and we wouldn't be able to select this anymore. And that's one of the things that we'll be asking you to do inside of the inside of the online PD. Okay? I didn't want to go through all the steps now because that's one of the things you'll be doing and the video's already in the online PD section. Okay, Larissa, how are we doing on time?
Good. Well, it's about 8:25, so perfect.
Okay.
And just so you know, we work to end early. So we won't, maybe 15, 20 minutes tops.
Okay, so I'm just going to show one more example.
Perfect.
Okay, so another example of what you'll be doing in the online PD here is working with PDFs. Okay, and here is an example of an assignment where we're using a PDF through Google Slides. And the student would open up the assignment, and to complete the assignment, they would use a text box to type, to do their work. Okay? And so this is one way that you would be doing this, and all the directions, all the steps, all the videos are there in the online portion. So this is we just wanted to give you a preview of some things to come in the online portion. Okay.
I know a lot of people were asking how to incorporate their PDFs. So
Yes.
that'll be good.
Yes. And how to incorporate those things that are in the ELA modules that are already created.
Right.
So we tried to add those features right here into Google Classroom. Okay. Now, one of those features that I was so excited about, okay? Using Google Classroom app on your iPad, on your iPhone, the Android app. I was so excited to see when this first came out, and then now different ways that we can integrate this and motivate our students. There are some videos in the online portion, and but I wanted to add another one here in the webinar because I've just been finding out and learning so much more about this. And so one of the questions that I just wanted you to be thinking about during this quick little video is, how do you think the Google Classroom app would be a way for maybe your students to, or do you think it might be a way for you to, or for teachers to, or maybe you just have a question about it? Will the Google Classroom app help me? Okay, so here's just a quick video, and I was just very excited to see how easy this is to do this. Okay. In this video, we're going to be looking at uploading video and pictures to Google Classroom using our iPad or our smartphones. So first thing, you must have the Google Classroom app downloaded from the App Store or from the Google Play Store. And then next, you just take your video or your pictures. And so we're just going to go to our photos. I'm going to click on the share button at the bottom. Click on next. I'm going to slide over. And Google Classroom is one of your choices here. Now, if you haven't chosen Google Classroom before, you would go to More. You would go down until you see Google Classroom. You would click on the toggle and it would turn green. Click Done. Okay. So now that you've chosen the video or the picture you want to select, you click on Google Classroom. Now I'm logged in as a student, and I'm going to select the assignment that I want to attach this movie to. I want to attach this to assignment number 5, Rainforest. And I'm going to click Attach. Now that the video or picture has been attached, I'm going to open up my Google Classroom app. I'm going to go to the class, open it. That was assignment number 5. These are the directions. I'm going to go to your work. And down below, I can see that my work is attached, my movie is now attached, and I've written in the private comment. So I'm going to resubmit the work. Now I've gotten the green check mark saying that everything is done. Okay.
Rosie, we had a good question in the Q&A. So maybe at some point you can.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome.
John asked about if you know if students install the app, how it would the teacher know?
Yes. In working with the Google Classroom app, it is very good to have the other apps installed on the device, such as the Google Drive, if you're going to be working with Google Docs, if you're going to be working with Google Slides, Sheets, all those other apps. It's very good to have all those other Google Suite apps installed also. Great question, John. As you saw in the video, it's very nice, very easy to upload videos, photos, attach them to an assignment for your students. In the online portion, I do show from a teacher view how you can do things as a teacher. So hopefully we can enhance you and motivate you to want to use other devices in Google with the Google Classroom app. So on the discussion board, in the Q&A, how do you think you could use the Google Classroom app? Maybe with your students, maybe as a teacher, or do you think this might not be something you would want to do? Okay. Now, I'm so excited to share the next thing too. Okay. Okay, so we have a tip of the day. Okay, this is such a time saver, such a time saver. I know I've heard so many teachers talk about the fact that, oh my gosh, I have another Gmail account that I need to go check. And on top of my district email. Okay, so we're not going to go through all the steps here because there's a PDF that's going to be in the online portion in your reference section on all these steps. But just to quickly give you a preview on what would be going on here is you would go to your app launcher section, you would click on the Gmail, and when you get to Gmail, you would click on the gear and go to settings. And when you get into settings, you would click on forwarding because you're going to be forwarding. This is so nice. What you're going to be doing here is you're going to be forwarding this Gmail account, this RCSD one-to-one Gmail account. You're going to be forwarding it to your district email. So no longer are you going to need to come over to the Gmail account, check it, delete email, forward it, whatever. This is going to be doing your work for you. Set it up once, done, don't have to worry about it. Okay? You'd have to click this second box, add the forwarding email address. You're going to there's several pop-up boxes that pop up. This would be one of your choices to archive it. If you archive it, it's not gone forever. It's going to be saved for you. Okay? Deleting it, if you delete it, it's gone. Okay, so that would be one of your key choices. So anyway, all the information is going to be right inside of, in the reference section on the online portion. Okay, so it's a great time saver. Okay, so hope you like it. That was our tip of the day. Okay, so before we have our ticket out the door, we're going to go back into our Google Classroom. Okay, because we all know that we really liked how those new features came out in Google Classroom. And the only reason why those new features came out in Google Classroom is because teachers spoke up. People like you, people like us spoke up and said, this is what we really want. So the way you do that is you can be inside of a class, you can be at your home page. Down here in this corner, you click on the question mark and you say send feedback. In this box, you tell them exactly what you want to see. So you say, I would like to see students' collaboration features in Google Classroom. You click next. Okay. Next. And submit. So that feedback has been sent to Google. They are constantly monitoring this feedback, and as you can see, teachers spoke up and Google gave them what they wanted. Okay, how's it going over there, Larissa?
Good. A couple comments about the app that we didn't get to. Lisa mentioned that it's a great way to give homework, or students can access their homework through the app, especially at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Lisa. That's great. What we've got going on here with the app is I hope that we encourage more of our students to get into Google Classroom, and as a way to maybe be more creative with their assignments, maybe work with their partners more. Who knows what they're going to be able to turn in and create. So in the discussion box, in that Q&A, if you could, for us, as your ticket out the door, we were flying through this today. If you could post one thing you learned or a question you have for us, that would be great. Okay? One thing you learned or one question you have. Hopefully we have given you some new information here today. We had lots of fun in preparing for this webinar, and we hope that in working with your students with these new features, that you also have fun also. So we will be online for just a little while in case you have any questions, and please feel free to write them in the Q&A section of the discussion board. And otherwise, Larissa, do you have anything else to add?
No, it was nice the discussion was really good. I mean, so we will post the discussion in the class, and we'll be here for, 5 more minutes, but thank you.
Okay, and on the online PD section, if you do have any questions as you're going through, just please post them in the online discussion board. And if you did have any questions, because I'm not sure how things were going over there, Larissa seemed awfully busy through there.
It was it wasn't really,
Okay.
It was good though.
Okay, so we will get back to any questions you might have had, and thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great day.
Thank you, and we'll see you online.